Hello everybody, welcome back to Spruverse, my scale model universe, people of Earth. Welcome to part 12 of Build the Helios 1650 Enterprise D. And at this point, if you are checking your calendar, it is part 12, which would suggest 12 weeks. It's been about 14 weeks. And I have to say, I am itching to get this thing finished. I mean, it has been it's been a process to do something this large, but I'm excited to get to where I feel like I'm heading towards the final straight here, as it were. Just got back from Telford. It was an awesome trip. Big shout out to the great Wayne Green of World of Wayne, a dear friend, and of course Esther, Mrs. World of Wayne, for hosting us. And really, it was an awesome week. Great fun. So as I'm recording this, it's November of 24. For those of you who are just tuning in 5 years from now and want to know what's going on, you're going to have to go back in time and check all these parts out and see the progression of this. But all are welcome. And even if you're checking in for the first time, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this insanity. It means an awful lot to me. Okay, all of the masking here is supplied by Aztec Dummy, Lou Dummy. So if you don't know who Lou is, go check out his channel. And of course, we've got decals to share with you in this update. Decals. And they were lovingly printed by the great Keith Tomlinson over at Cosmic Scale Models. Big shout out to him. If you've never been to his website, go check him out. He's got some awesome stuff going on there. So a big thank you to Keith, and it was awesome seeing him and his lovely wife at Telford, and of course at his shop. And if you ever get a chance to go to the UK and head out to Yorkshire, do a pilgrimage. Go to a happy place called Cosmic Scale Models. You'll be glad you did. Okay, so Lou has provided me with all of my accent masks for the top and the bottom. I'm starting on the bottom, so here we are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the left side done, which is what he's asking me to do. So he's given me the left side. And then he has given me the right side. So we're working on that first. So he's indicated where things go. So this is my 7 here, and then I believe he's given me my inside, which is my 6, and that's going to go roughly here. My 8 is going to roughly go here. And then, of course, this would be 5, which does not have a mark on it. So let me get one on here so I don't get lost, because me getting lost is usually standard operating procedure. So I'm just going to make sure I know that is 5, and I am assuming that 5 is going to go like such, like that. So you've got that, like that, and that is my bottom left side. So that is what I'm going to currently work on. So what I have to do is I'm going to have to find some places to sort of match these up, and then I'm going to go ahead and start laying these down, and then I will do the right side, and we'll paint the whole thing as one complete piece, because I do not want to I don't want to do this in pieces. I want to do the whole thing, get it down, get it dry, and then we can clear coat that and move on to decals. Decals, he said. Did you say decals? I did say decals. let me quickly show you my decals before we move on, so that, as you know, we are not using the Helios decal set, which is, I'm sorry, with all due respect to Helios, it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. They took the registration marks, they took all of the Delta shields and details and everything else and literally merged it into one decal sheet. We went through them. They've got so many problems with them. They're inkjet cheap decals. I feel ripped off. Just being honest. Look at these. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And if I punch in, I can show you. Now, we've been given the registry in blue and in black. These are positioning thrusters here, some other positioning thruster details. These are what I call the brackets that go around the phaser array. These here are this is for the shuttle bay, the main shuttle, and then of course the small shuttles 2 and 3. You've got your Delta shields for the nacelles, as well as yeah, those are for the nacelles, and then of course you've got all the other detail work as well. Just absolutely spot on. We've got transporter arrays. We've got stuff in white if we want to choose it in white. So we've got all of that. And then we've got lifeboats. Lifeboats. And there's a ton of them on this kit. So we need them. Here they are. And they're beautiful. So that one in particular I love. A big shout out to James Bond, the 007. There it is. They all say Enterprise. Now they all have to be hand cut. So that's going to be a bit of a thing. But once this has gotten a really nice heavy gloss coat on it, that is going to make these decals disappear. So we want to get the transfer paper, we want to cut it close. We want to trim it as closely as we can. But ultimately, if we get a really nice gloss coat down on this, and then we lay down our decals, and then we put a matte coat over it, they should all disappear and it should look beautiful. So, very happy with that. So lots of thanks to everybody involved in making this happen, because it would not happen without this incredible team of friends and talented artists who have all connected together to make this work. And that's what makes this community so amazing. All of you out there and all of the folks that I am friendly with, we're one giant community. And I'm just so deeply grateful and honored to each and every one of you, especially those who came over to say hello to me at Telford. I really appreciate it, and it was great to meet each and every one of you. Okay, I'm going to lay down my accent masks. I'm going to get a coat of the third color blue on this. We'll come back to peel those off and take a look at the result. Then I'm going to go and do the top of this salsa. I like that too. The saucer, we're going to go and do the same for the top. That's going to require a little bit of concentration, but I'll show you a little bit of that process. Then we'll get all of that done. Once that's done, it's going to get a clear coat, and then we'll be ready to actually put down some decals, because I want to get the decals down on everything that I feel like I'm going to have to be heavy-handed with. Where I can, I will wait. But I would like to get most of my decals done and sealed before I do final assembly. And we've got some wiring to do. So lots going on in this update, but I'm absolutely thrilled we're back at the bench and thrilled that you're with me to continue on this journey, because I promise you we're getting dangerously close. Okay, let's carry on. Real-time exclusive update on the accent color mask situation as it unfolds here at Spruverse. 3 hours later, we are we're doing an unveiling, a little bit of an unveiling, but it all went down very well. So what I'm doing now is I'm just taking it off. Now I'm using lacquer paint, so I'm getting a rather quick drying time, but this is going quite well. I'm very happy with the way this has gone down. Now I'm not finished yet because I've got a little bit of cleanup to do, and I've got my yacht. I've got my yacht detail to lay down, which I'm going to do now. But I think you can start to see, most definitely, that we're looking good. We're looking good. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing, and the paints that we've used have they've done a good job. So about the situation, and everything looks really good. We've got some really nice detail on these masks. So we'll get this cleaned up. We'll do the detail to the yacht, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. One of the things Lou recommends we do, and it makes perfect sense, is use the positive side to mark out where you want something, which I've done here for the captain's yacht. And then what you do is you come along with your negative, and you can line those up, and it helps you sort of identify where things are going, because it does get to a point where you don't have correct registry, and this makes it a lot simpler for us to actually nail this down, because that's what I need to do. So I just wanted to share that with you. I've also got a little bit of cleanup to do here, and then once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and mask off my my phaser array so I can get my blending coat down, and that will complete the azteking for the lower saucer, and then we can move on to the upper saucer. Okay, the blending coat is down, and I am ready just to give a little touch up here where my accent masks just crossed over the band around the yacht. So I'm just going to touch that up, and I'm going to do that with some of the cement gray. I think I'm just gonna touch that up. We'll clean that up, and we'll make that disappear. I also decided that I'm going to make my my bay doors a little darker, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Right now, I'm just going to clean this up, and then I'm going to get a coat of gloss on here, and this will be ready for decals. How about that? Now for the pièce de la résistance, the saucer. The accents for the saucer have to be perfect. And so what Lou has given me is a diagram, incredibly detailed, highly detailed, probably better than anything John Eves could ever draw. Okay, all right, I'm being silly. No, he's given me, he's explaining to me because, you know, he knows he's not dealing with anybody who mixes rocket fuel in a tub at night. You know that. So I know this is the top of the saucer. And what I'm looking for basically now are, he has kindly marked everything out for me. So I believe it's just a function of me laying these out. And I believe he's made a little mistakey wakey. I think he put, yeah, he just reversed them. That's okay. I can figure it out. It's okay, Lou. You didn't confuse me that much. Just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and map this out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make absolutely sure that where I want a panel inside another panel, that I line that up correctly. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to follow his directions, which is to peel off that negative, that positive piece, I should say, and use that as my mark, and then I can lay down over that. But if I get them exact, especially in the front where you're looking at it, it should look pretty cool. So let me get this done, and I'll show you what it looks like before we lay down our paint. Okay, singularly, the most important step really is the accent masks for the saucer top, because that's the money shot. That's what we're going to see. And Lou's masks went down beautifully. I've made triple sure that everything is completely ready to go here, so that I can do this in one foul swoop. And everything is beautifully symmetrical, and it's laying across the other sort of the underneath dimensions in a very nice pattern. So we should get something that's really quite unique. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay down my color, and then we'll lift these, and that is it. That's all the accent masks down. So this is quite monumental and momentous all at the same time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just get some of my my third color, which is 1 part white excuse me, 1 part blue, my my light blue, to 2 parts white, and that gave me this lovely accent color, and it is perfect. So I'm going to get these down. Then we will remove these and take a look at the final result. But I think you'll agree that this is really that moment. I had a subscriber who actually had a really interesting idea, which was if you wanted to keep that sort of sheen, you could get a second set of Lou's masks, and you could lay those down and then hit them with a gloss coat. So that only certain areas would have that gloss panel, and when the light hits it, you do get that variance. It's a clever idea. I won't be doing it, but I do think it's a clever idea. So a big shout out to him for recommending that to me. Okay, we are wanting to come up now, so I'm going to lay this down because this vinyl has been sitting here for a little bit under the heat of the studio, because we're still warm out here in California. Okay, so let me get this down. We'll lift these and we'll take a look at that. Okay, the moment of truth. Let's take a look at how we did. So I'm going to start from the back here where the shuttle bay is, and I'm going to slowly start pulling away at the masking tape. And we're going to get a little lift of, and it'll look like yellow. It might look like yellow specks to you. What that actually is paint lift off the vinyl masks of the windows. Nothing to be concerned about. So just sort of pulling back. Oh, that came up nicely. I think you can see already, we've got some really nice delineations here, and some really nice overlap, which I'm really happy with, because oh boy, what a absolute difference this makes, and it creates this illusion of plating as well, which I'm really super happy with, because that is also part of the illusion, is to create this wonderful plating effect that that the azteking sort of also suggests, and that is very cool. So I just love that we're able to do this in real time, and look at this together and marvel at this, and just remind myself, how grateful I am for all of the hard work that went into making these masks, because all I have to do is lay them down. Lou had to figure all of this out and create his own special, unique design for us as well, which I love. So it's a real personal signature for this thing, which is terrific. Now, obviously, I've got one set of these to lay down, and that is for the bridge area, and I wanted to wait until the end to do that, because I wanted to make sure that I really got it nice and tight and symmetrical, and it all lined up perfectly. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to I'm going to start working on the actual bridge section, because that's the next big thing, or it's the final thing in this setup. And I did it also to make sure that I was perfectly symmetrical, because the bottom is, you know, equally as symmetrical. I don't want to suggest it isn't, but I feel like this is just so important to get this right. So important to get this right, because that is going to make the difference. That is really going to make this beautiful model pop. And again, you know, I want to harbor on the fact that Helios decided to essentially cut corners. I mean, that's what they did when they sent out those decals. They cut corners. There's no other reason for it. Not for what this was promised to be. But we got there in the end. But we got there with a little bit of elbow grease and a lot of, I would say, you know, a lot of hard work on the part of people like Lou to figure this out. And of course, with Keith's help in the UK and Jeff Fink as well. The great Jeff Fink, good friend, and so talented as well. Just sort of diving in and cooperating. Okay, so here we are. And this is the final on the azteking. It's 3 layers. Could not be happier with the symmetry of this and the way this laid down. It really came down beautifully. And what we're going to do is just finish the bridge section, because I've got those masks ready to go. So I'm going to lay those down, and once we've got that done, I'm going to create one small square here in the back with the top color. I want to do just a little more accenting there, because I notice I'm sort of missing, but everything else feels really good. So could not be happier. Okay, so I'm gonna get the bridge area sorted with its masks, and that will complete all of the azteking for this kit. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and remove all the windows, and there's an awful lot of windows. If I just gently push down on here, you'll see there's a window coming up. Because what I've got to do, and I'll get myself a really sharp blade, I have to be careful here, but I wanted to just sort of show you what this looks like, because I'm going to be doing this, but I won't be doing this on camera. But this is going to be quite an ordeal to get these up. These have been down for quite a while, but they're anxious to come up. And there are your windows. And then what I'm going to do is I have to flip this over. Not flip it over, but stand it up, shine a light behind it, and I'm going to start using some slick tulip black on the inside to give us that marquee look of the windows that are blacked out, so that when we turn our lights on for the final reveal, you get that wonderful signature look with the black areas where the windows are off. Okay, so very good, excellent progress. Thrilled you're with me on this journey. Let me get the bridge masks for the accent colors down and finished. And then I'm going to start working on getting these windows up. Quick pop in here to memorialize removing the 800 plus window masks. And that's just the top of the saucer. I haven't done the bottom of the saucer. But I wanted to memorialize it because we're doing quite well. But I think this is one of those things where if you are in a setting where you don't have adequate light, you're going to miss windows. But these are popping out quite nicely, and basically I'm using a very fresh blade, and I'm starting at the bottom of the window just to kind of pick it up. And for the most part, they're cooperating, and they're just coming right up. And you can see I've done this whole section right here. You know, once in a while you'll get a little bit of schmutz, and I'm just going ahead and just scraping that, and they'll be fine. But it looks beautiful. It really does, and it's starting to really look like the D. So I'm going to continue to remove all of these window masks here. As I said, there are 800 plus of them. And I will do that for the top and the bottom, and then we will get a clear gloss coat on these. Now, it doesn't matter if the gloss coat gets on the windows, because that's fine. It'll add a certain level of diffusion that these definitely need, because we've put quite a bit of strip light in here, and it's got some punch. And but I haven't gone ahead yet, and obviously once I get all these masks off, I'm going to go ahead and get the slick tulip out and identify where I want to be. Now obviously when you've got two windows together, you want to black out both windows. You don't want to black out one and not the other, because the assumption is that they are actually they're actually together in a room. They're not separate rooms, and it just would look goofy. So anyway, that's the theory, and I'm sticking with it. Okay, I'm going to continue to press on here and get these window masks off, hoping that I'm finding that they're sticking to everything, all my skin, everything, clothes, everything. So it's a bit of a thing. But it's going to be absolutely awesome to see all these masks off, because that's just another step closer to completing this kit. I'm on the bottom saucer now of the saucer, removing all of the window masks. Everything is finished now in terms of painting, in terms of the azteking. There might be a few touch-ups here and there, but for the most part, we're good. I've been putting a little bit of slick tulip in a lot of the windows on the top of the saucer, and hitting them with a flashlight. And I may need to do a couple more, but I won't know until I actually do a full light test, and I'm not going to be able to do that until I get everything situated and lit up. But it's not going to be a problem, because once the star drive is permanently connected to the lower body, and I'm able to slide this on, because this is the part that actually has this is holding my my saucer onto my neck, so everything can be connected, and then I can actually just drop the top of the saucer on top and just do a light test. So that should work out quite well. Obviously I've got a little bit of work to do here, just in terms of cleaning up, but it's nothing terrible. So where you've got a little bit of schmutz in the windows, it's just a simple, all you have to do is just scrape them and then hit them with a little air. If you don't have air, you can use a light brush, that's fine too. But this is going really well. I'm not having any issues with these masks at all. And they're coming off really, really nicely. And I think that's a testament to actually making sure that interestingly enough, the resin that was poured into these windows is lovely and flush, because I actually used a little bit of, if you recall, we used a little bit of the clear tape, just to sort of make sure that it stayed flush. And it was a good thing to do, because they're coming off really well. There aren't any issues at all with these masks, none whatsoever. So, and they're coming off super fast. So that's good. So I'm going to continue to do this. If I actually hold this up to the light, maybe maybe you can see well, you can certainly see where I've removed the window masks. Let me get some light behind there for you. There we go. You can see as I'm running the flashlight, I'm getting lots of good light coming out of these windows. So very cool. And I don't have a tremendous amount of leakage either. I haven't seen any leaks at all, and that's a testament to how well we actually made sure we got these things all sealed up before we went ahead and painted it. Okay, so almost done with the bottom saucer. Then everything's going to get a clear coat of the super gloss. And then the only other thing I want to talk about is, and it's going to be on the top saucer because the double rim is on the top saucer. We're going to need to put the thruster control blanks. There's 4 of them that need to be put on the saucer. And I think we're going to do that with some plastic card rather than any kind of putty, just to make sure that it's super clean, because that's where our thruster decals are going to go on. And there's 4 of those, so we need to get that done. Okay, so in the foreground here, we have the pylons attached to the nacelles, and they have been clear coated, and that is permanently attached to the base and ready to go. I've got the neck here, which has had its coat of clear, and it's all Azteked and ready to go. On the back bench over here, we have the bottom and the top of the saucer clear coated. All the window masks have been removed. It is ready to go for its decals. But the next thing I want to do is I want to talk about the these 4 directional thrusters that have to go on the saucer. Now, let me just clear my bench here for a second, and we will discuss. The width of these is significant. So let me pull out my decal sheet here for these thrusters, and let's take a look. There is. See, these are all lifeboats, so it's interesting. There aren't a lot of decals, but here are the thrusters right here, and there's 4 of them, and they're right here. Let me. I'm going to locate those. And I'm going to mark them, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use. I've got some pretty thick 5 mil sheet styrene that's about 020 thickness, and I'm going to cut these properly, and I'm going to sand them down and slide them in. And I'll give these a coat of paint first, obviously, and that is going to that's going to be the base for our decals. Now these decals are yellow, so I don't really have to paint them, but I want to, just to sort of make sure that everything is crisp. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to mark these and get these on, and I'll show you what they look like after I've got them on, because it's going to take me an hour or 2 of just cleaning this up and dropping these in and getting them painted. But that's what I'm working on right now. Okay, momentous moment. It's time for me to permanently connect the top of the star drive to the pylons and the nacelles, and obviously my neck. Reason being is because until that happens, I can't seal this nicely. And what I want to show you is I've got to deal with, this is the this is the cover for my photon torpedo, but the actual star drive is going to sit down on here, and right here I have a seam that I have to contend with. And this seam here is, you know, I need to get this as flush as possible. This is all going to be epoxied up. I can get clamps on the back, but I can't get anything on the front here, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to use tape and get this as flush as I can, because the next thing that's going to happen is I am going to have to perhaps once, because this is where my defector dish is going to sit, that may need some puttying. And I won't know how bad that is until I get everything together. Now, the interesting thing about all of this is that in talking to Lou about his situation, he found that it did not sit flush. And so he had a little bit of finagling he had to do in order to get this to square up. And when he did that, he found he had quite a gap he had to deal with his deflector dish. Now, I have not attempted to seat this yet. I'm going to do that right now. But before I do that, I just need to clean up some of these wires and make sure everything is where it needs to be. And I'm going to do one final test of everything before I commit to a plan to actually seal this. Now, one of the things that I want to do is I want to just make sure that I dress rehearse this. And once I've dress rehearsed it, I will go ahead and mix up my epoxy putty and get my clamps in place. But I'm not going to do any of that until I've done several dress rehearsals and triple checked again my leads. I'm also going to remove all of my masking tape now to the Bassard collectors and the warp drive chiller grills. So that's all going to happen right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start removing everything because there's no reason to keep this on here. And I'll clean all of that up, and then I'm going to go ahead and double check that everything has got power. And then when I'm ready to do my ready to seat this, we'll come back and look at that. Lest anyone panic, including myself, this is a very momentous moment in this build, and I wanted to share it with you and memorialize it. The star drive neck has now been permanently wired to the nacelles, the pylons, which are in turn connected to this lovely base. Now, I have, you can see here, extra length of my neck stabilizer. This is going to connect to the saucer. Now, it's the lower half of the saucer that has my frame on it that will slide over this. It will slide over this pipe, and it's going to cinch up and everything will tighten up. But that's the pipe. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning all of this to you is because I have to cease operations now, because I have to get the lower saucer permanently on here and then run those wires through, connect them up. The only wires that will remain are the ones here that are going to the saucer, because obviously once this is all locked down, there would be no way for me to connect my negatives, which are all of my effects, to my board. So I have thoroughly gone through everything. Everything is as it should be. The exposed wires are to receive the lower half of the saucer. I hope you're following along and taking notes, because there will be a quiz later. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove the stand from my work surface, because I've got to get all the decals done on my lower saucer, which is standing by. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to get the lower saucer on the bench and take a look at what decals have to go down on it so that it can be permanently put up onto this shaft. All the other decals for the nacelles and the pylons, anything else, we will do in situ. It's really only the saucer that I don't want to have to play Leonardo da Vinci and be on my back trying to put a lot of lifeboat decals on the bottom here. It's going to take some time, and it also is going to require some organization. I got to get Rick Sternbach's map out here, or I should say his schematic, which came in the D pack that we talked about earlier, so that I can line up all of these lifeboats and figure out just where they're going. So that's what we're going to do now. Okay, so I have a sheet of lifeboats down in front of me. I have got the Galaxy class Starship Enterprise 1701D external arrangement blueprint, and I have on this decal sheet 234 lifeboats. I need 204. So what I've got to do now is I've got to cut them out and I've got to arrange them on this sheet. Now the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to use this nav light as which goes straight up to the bridge, and then it goes out to my this is my static white, these are my red greens, and so I'm going to use that as my first point of reference, and I'm going to make a pencil line from there to there, and then I'm going to break this up into pies because I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pies on each segment. So that's where I'm going to start. We're going to do that first. That's probably the best thing for me to do, is get a reference point. Now I already have this reference point, but I'm going to lightly put it back. And these pencil lines are going to be fine. You know, they're going to be fine for the finished piece. But it's just really important that I get this right, and so especially for my. Okay, so there's my line, and I'm going to need one here and one here. So there's 6 pies between them. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements on each side, so I'm pretty damn close. So this is good. Now, interestingly enough, the window arrangement on this schematic is different than the window arrangement here. So, hey, you know, none of it is perfect. It's going to be underneath. If you don't tell anybody, I won't. And I'm going to get to work now on laying out these lifeboat decals, and going to start putting them down. We'll come back. You don't need to see me decaling lifeboats. You know how to do decals, and you know that I'm going to be sitting here suffering for the next few hours. So go ahead and get yourself a nice cold something, preferably alcoholic, but hey, I don't promote that on this channel. Never mind. Okay, so let me dive in. Let me get these quadrants going, and then we'll take a look at this after I start to get them down. Should be interesting. Okay, a quick punch in here because I realized that this was a lot more in depth than I thought it would be. So I thought it would be important to memorialize what I was doing. I'm still on the lower saucer, and I've segmented everything, and I've got my trusty Rick Sternbach plans in front of me, the blueprints for the D, and I'm obviously following that in terms of how the lifeboats are laid down. Unfortunately, the window setup that was given to us by Helios is not correct. So trying to match the exact pies has been a little tricky, but we're getting dangerously close. I mean, I think we're doing a good job. And what you can see here is that I'm sort of working on this outer quadrant here, and they're going down beautifully. So I started essentially at the center static nav white, and I've moved all the way around to the right, and I'll continue to do that on that side. And then what I'll do is I will do the following side, and then we'll move into the center, well, in front of the phaser array here, and we'll do all of those. We've got some interesting decals that we're going to be putting down here. We'll take a look at those real quickly. So we've got these. We've got, well, essentially, let me open this up one more time here so that we can really look at this correctly. Okay, so what we've got to do is we've got to put in these cargo loading doors. There's 2 of them, and we've got those decals. The lower sensor platform is already in and painted. And this is the captain's yacht, and I think we have something for there. I have to double check. Then we've also got these, see here, I'm looking to see what we've got. We don't have, well, that's the separation plane, but we don't know what the call out is. I think these were transporter emitters, I believe. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. So, and of course, we have got the NCC 1701D that we have to put in, but there is no other call outs. The only other decals that will go down are the thrusters, but they will wrap around, and we'll do those once the saucer clam is complete. Okay. So that is what's going on here, and I'm going to continue to chip away at this. Then we'll come back, we'll take a look at this once all the decals are down, because then it's going to get its final matte coat to seal this in, and this bad boy will be ready to slide onto the neck. We'll bring it over, we'll slide it onto the neck, and we'll get this permanently installed. Lots to do, because when we go to permanently install the top of the star drive to the bottom of it, we're going to have to clamp that. We can't do it in the front. We can get clamps on the back, but I'm going to do a full dress rehearsal of that. We'll get that down. That will be 24 hours to dry, and then and only then can I permanently install the saucer, the lower saucer to the neck of the star drive. But I won't do that until the star drive itself is permanently installed, and I'm not going to do that until I do one more test of all of the lighting, just to be sure that I've not snagged anything, because it's the last time I'll be able to get inside. So if something's gone, it's gone, and I don't want that to happen with this ship. So lots going on, but that's where we are. We're going to carry on. Okay, I admit it. I was sort of feeling a little dirty and cheap, and sitting here, and I'm working on lifeboats, lower saucer, and I say, oh, we'll come back when this is all done, and I'm sitting there thinking, not a cool move, really. Not a really cool move. So I thought I'd jump in and show you a work in progress. Here we go. So this is the lower saucer. Couple of things are in. The one of the cargo bay doors is down. I've got to put the other one on this side, but the cargo bay door is down, and I've got all my lifeboats down on that one side, and I've also got my what do you call these? Well, stand by while I figure out what these are. I think they are, okay, transporter emitters. And I've got my transporter emitter right here. And I'm working my way around. So I've got one more cargo bay door to put in here. Look at this. My NCC 17D is on. Yes, it's in blue. That is correct. I've got so I'm coming around the corner here in my grid. What I'm doing right now is I'm cutting like a little factory. I take my I cut them up, my little listen to me, my lifeboats. I cut them up, I put them in this little cup. And then after I do that, I just create a little factory because it's easier for me to drop and go, oh, I need 6 and 5. Oh, I need 3 and 4. And I just lay down the ones that I need. And it's working a charm, actually. And a couple of things is there were a few little Aztec decals that I thought I would steal from the Helios models decal set. Now, these decals required 2 coats of a clear over them to sort of bond the decal because they're cheap, crappy decals. And that was done several months ago now. I laid them down and I laid them down, and then when I laid them down, oh, look at that, I've lost the lifeboat. I put them in water, and would you believe it? They disintegrated. Honest to God, they disintegrated. And I was really upset. Really upset, because that's just uncalled for. Really uncalled for. So, okay, I'll get a new one. Lost the lifeboat. I just laid it down and of course I hit it. Stupid move, but that's okay. That's because I'm talking to you. But no, it disintegrated. And I was really disappointed. So heads up, guys. Now, you could say it was the bonder I used. Didn't use the one that they recommended. Well, the one they recommended you can't get in this country. So Eddington's or whatever it was called. I don't know. But the point is I did what I always do with those kinds of decals, because I know if they're, you know, laser jet, inkjet, whatever they are, they can run. But these just literally disintegrated. The colors were off to begin with, but they disintegrated. So I pity the fool who's going to try and lay those down in huge sheets. Good luck. I think it's a mitigated disaster waiting to happen. Now, some of you could get, you know, lucky, and that's great. And I know that Daniel over at Helios used them, but how he used them and what he used, I don't know. It's not clear to us because he's never really communicated with us. Not a great communicator. Okay. Voila. In the blink of an eye. So here it is, and everything is on. All the lifeboats are on. The cargo bay doors are on, and the transponders are on. So everything is on, and it is looking really nifty. Now, what I have to do now is give this a matte coat. I'm going to let everything dry in. Most likely let it dry in tonight, and then tomorrow morning give it a really good coat of matte to seal this in, and we should be good to go. That is an absolute result, and I couldn't be happier with it. Now this has taken me the better part of 8 hours of work. But once you get into a rhythm, it really goes quite quickly. Now, I have to say, huge shout out to Lou, the great Aztec dummy, and of course Keith Tomlinson, Cosmic Scale Models, for putting this all together for us. The decals. It would have been an absolute disaster without the talent that created this wonderful set of decals in this scale. So thank you to both of you, good friends, and what a result. So I am now ready to get the ship over and finally install this into the bottom, and we'll do. And that'll be permanently in, and then that has to be epoxied, and that'll be tomorrow. For me, it'll be the next segment for you, but we'll do that. We'll get it all hooked up, and that will conclude this update. But wow, what an update, right? I mean, a huge leap forward with this build. A couple of little detail things I have to do. I am going to. I'm just going to finish off the locations of the thruster controls. There's 4 of them on the top saucer, so I'm going to do that now, but I'm going to do that off the camera. I just need to do a little patching and some paint, and that'll get ready for the thruster decals that will go over it anyway, so it's really just a backing for them. Okay, so there you go. What can I tell you? I'm amazed at the fact that we've actually gotten to this point, but we're doing well. We're doing well. Okay. I wasn't going to let you miss this. You can't miss this. We are just about to officially christen the Enterprise D, even though I'm still working on my lifeboats. I'm coming around, but we're putting down its registry. So I thought to myself, I thought, do not deprive my my wonderful subscribers of this moment. Don't do it. You'll hate yourself forever. It's a little scary, but we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. We're going to get the Enterprise registry on here. You have to be very careful. I will say though, these decals are they're exceptional. They are exceptional. I mean, they're forgiving. They're tough. They go down beautifully, and I'm just so I know I sound like a broken record when I say I'm just absolutely so grateful to Keith and to Lou for putting this together for me. So grateful, because, you know, yeah, there's other ways of getting decals, but, you know, these are my friends, and this is the finest demonstration of community that you could ever get. I don't care. You know, this hobby is awesome, but this community is awesome. All right, now I know my T, according to Mr. Sternbach, has to line up with my 1. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to lay this down here, and it's just above the windows. So I'm going to try and get this. I suppose you'll want to watch this. I'm going to get my T here. Okay. And I'm going to just lay that over that, like such. And get myself lined up here. We get a little, pull this down just a little bit here. And pull it down just a little bit there. Pretty lined up, I think. I just got to pull this down just. I think that's good. Let's see here. I want to come down on this side just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Now she's talking. Okay. She's down. There we go. Okay. She is the USS Enterprise now. So now I just have to finesse this just a little bit, but I wanted this memorialized. Do not adjust your sets. You are seeing the model together, but don't be fooled. It is not together. There's going to be enough content, if you can believe this, for I think another good hour of this build. But I wanted to close this update with you seeing this and talking about, as I said, next steps, because I think it's really important. Just a sort of a punch list of things that I have to do. Obviously, the star drive and the nacelles and my pylons have no decals on them, so that has to be done. I have been talking to Lou about gappage here. I've got some grinding and some filling and some working out to do here, because I can't get you completely close, but you can see there's quite a severe gap here. In fact, if I can gingerly tip this towards camera here, there you go. You can see what I'm dealing with there. That's quite a severe gap that I'm going to have to work on, and so that's what I'm working on now. Obviously, the impulse engines are not in, and I've got to clean that up and work on that. But what I wanted to show you was this. So this is permanently attached to the bottom, but you can see this gap is severe. And if you can believe it, if I sort of swing this round just a little bit, you can see that this gap is quite severe here, and then it tapers off and it disappears. But this plate was supposed to hold everything together, and I don't know whether it's warpage. I don't know what the actual facts are, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is that we've got a huge gap that I've got to deal with. And so that's the next step, along with working out why this, how to get this saucer to behave. Because I can get it to line up on one side, but it's a little funky. And on the other side, I've got a step. Now, I'll get it there, because I'm going to have to sort of grind it and putty it and glue it into place. But it's a problem. Because if you try to get this flush, then it doesn't sit nicely. So that's what I'm dealing with. I've got quite a bit of gappage now. I can get it close, but I'm not going to get it perfect. I'm just not. But we've come a long way, baby. I'm just noticing there's a little bit of masking tape here that I can get off. Now, what I haven't done yet is I haven't permanently connected any of my wires from the top of the saucer down, so I have to do that as well. There's an awful lot to do here. I thought I was going to get done by Thanksgiving. I don't think I will, but I'm going to give it the old college try. But I wanted to leave this update with this. Let me show you what it looks like from the front. Kind of cool. And then let me tip it around for you and show you the side, the display side with the control panel. So it's a beautiful piece, and it's going to come together really well. But we are just not there yet. We're close, but we're just not there. So that's where I'm going to leave this update. It's an awful lot to chew on, but I think you could see some huge progress. And in the next update, we will have figured out all of our gappage. We will have put the final decals on, and we'll fire this puppy up and take it through its paces. But until then, hey, if you want to get a hold of me, I'm spruverse@gmail.com. I post most days on my Instagram account. That's @spruverse, occasionally on TikTok. You can buy me a cup of coffee. That's for my charitable builds. That link is on my channel page. But as always, please, I wish all of you be safe, be well. You build something. Come on, let's build something. And I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Be well.